Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. We're moving today. I'm so scared, God. With those words, a 12-year-old girl voices the anxiety of leaving everything she knows. Margaret's starting point is a familiar, bustling life in New York City, complete with private school tuition and summers at camp. That rhythm halts abruptly when her family relocates to Farbrook, New Jersey. Instead of city sidewalks, she is faced with identical 7-year-old houses, quiet lawns, and the prospect of a completely different social landscape. She quickly meets Nancy Wheeler, a highly self-assured neighbor who loops Margaret into a tight-knit 4-person secret club. The club's agenda is highly specific. They lock themselves in bedrooms to study male anatomy books, catalog their male classmates, and chant repetitive physical exercises designed to increase their bust size. The group's focus intensifies when Gretchen becomes the first among them to get her period, setting a countdown for the rest. Margaret turns back to her private conversations with God, confessing her deep jealousy and pleading for the simple ability to keep pace with her peers. The start of 6th grade brings a different kind of pressure. Her new teacher, Mr. Benedict, assigns a year-long independent project, insisting it be something meaningful. Margaret decides to tackle the biggest unknown in her life. She will study religion to figure out her own beliefs. This family tree shows why she lacks an affiliation. Her father is Jewish and her mother Christian. They raised her without a specific faith. But looking at this branch reveals a cost. Her mother's parents rejected the marriage, resulting in a 14-year estrangement. While wrestling with these theological questions, Margaret is also navigating standard social milestones. She attends Norman Fishbine's party, plays Spin the Bottle, and nervously kisses Philip Leroy. Between visiting synagogues on Saturdays and churches on Sundays, Margaret spends her evenings trying to decode the complex rules of 6th grade social circles, searching for a place where she finally fits. That search for belonging soon leads her into trouble. Nancy begins spreading scandalous rumors about Laura Danker, a physically developed classmate, claiming Laura meets older boys behind the grocery store. The tension boils over in the school library. When Laura criticizes Margaret for copying from an encyclopedia, Margaret snaps and repeats the vicious rumors out loud. Laura's reaction is immediate and visceral. Her face burns red as she calls Margaret a filthy liar and a pig before fleeing in tears. Chasing after her, the reality of the situation hits Margaret. She realizes Nancy and the boys likely fabricated the entire story for attention, and she fell for it. That night, Margaret's prayers shift completely. Instead of asking to grow an inch, she asks God if she is being punished, confronting her cruelty and the pain she caused. The background religious conflict erupts into the foreground when a letter arrives announcing a visit from the estranged Christian grandparents. The news triggers a massive, shouting fight between Margaret's parents. The Hutchins arrive here at Newark Airport. The tension is thick and immediate, punctuated by the fact that Margaret's father formally addresses his own mother-in-law as Mrs. Hutchins. The atmosphere only grows more chaotic with the sudden surprise arrival of Margaret's Jewish grandma Sylvia, who shows up at the front door accompanied by her new boyfriend, Mr. Benamin. With both sets of grandparents finally in the same room, the conflicting expectations of her entire family are laid bare, forcing Margaret to decide whose version of normal she actually wants to follow. Margaret later confronts Moose, the teenage boy who cuts their lawn, about the rumors. When Moose simply asks if she believes everything she hears, Margaret offers an apology and steps aside, finally separating neighborhood gossip from the truth. Seeking a moment of quiet, Margaret retreats to the bathroom. There, she looks down and discovers blood on her underwear. She immediately calls out for her mother. The two of them share a tearful celebration over the arrival of her period. Margaret returns to her private conversation one last time. "Are you still there, God?" she asks, offering a simple, joyful thanks for the milestone. While the physical anxieties of her first year in New Jersey are answered in that bathroom, her year-long project ends without a certificate of membership. The conversation with God remains exactly as it began, a quiet, private, and ongoing dialogue.